Hang on a second, that's the wrong camera. What the? Hello? Okay, we'll do it with this camera. Hello! How are you all? I've also noticed my transition file has disappeared. So I couldn't do any transitions. Let me see if I can get the other camera going. Might just have to unplug it, plug it in again. Professional as always. It was working a second ago. Let's try again. Nope, never mind. We'll do it this way. Hello, how are you all? Oh, hang on, now it's doing something. In this stream. Hope you're all well. I'm a little bit kind of running a little bit behind because of half term and getting the kids to bed and all that stuff. But I do want to say welcome to Femi. I noticed that you just joined just a few moments ago. Joined the WP Eagler membership, the official club. Really good to have you on board. I also noticed there's some other WP Eaglers in tonight. Sue is in, winner of the hosting last week. I believe Phil has sorted you all out and you're all up and running on that. Thank you, Febby. Really appreciate it. J5's also in, and Josh, of course, got an egg there. I believe Phil's has hatched into the Eagle. Marketing Ghost, good to see you as well. Who else we got? Helen, of course, is here to moderate and keep an eye on you, make sure that you're all safe. And if you play up, well, then you'll be in trouble with Helen, which is not good. Who else we got in? I'm going to say hello to all the members first, if I can. I think that's all the members. So tonight, got a very special guest. We've got Chris on from Niche Safari, or Niche Safari, depending on where in the world you are. He's waiting for me. We're going to chat to him in a moment. He recently, I mean very recently, like just a couple of weeks ago, quit his job to go full-time with his online marketing. So we're going to be talking to him about that. What he was doing before, what he's doing now, and yeah, we're just going to be talking shop, talking about websites, affiliate marketing, SEO, content, all that good stuff. So hopefully you've got some questions. I'll try and keep an eye on the chat and we'll pose the questions to him, but it should be really good. He's also got some interesting thoughts on KGR and doing keyword research and all that stuff. So we're gonna have a good chat about that. So yeah, I don't know where my transition has gone. This is I don't know if we can even continue the stream if I can't find the transition. I wouldn't have deleted it, would I? That would be bad. Appears to have completely disappeared. So I'm going to have to kind of manually do some transitions, I guess. I'll tell you what, I'll make a new transition for next week. But for now, I'm going to transition over there, and we'll chat to Chris. So let's transition. Well, the button still doesn't work. Transition. There we go. Hang on. I knew it was a mistake to update the Stream Deck software before the stream. Now I'm just getting lots of things asking me to locate the file. Anyway, let's bring Chris on. There he is. You're live on WP Eagle. You're right. Can you hear me, Chris?
Yeah, great. How are you, Alex?
Good. Can everyone hear Chris? Do let me know. I think you can because I can hear you, so that's perfect. The file might be on floppy disk, actually. Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, just as I fired up Ecamm and all that Stream Deck stuff, it said, do you want to do an update? And I thought, oh, what the heck? Nothing can go wrong with an update. And then, obviously, it does. So, Chris, good to see you. I'm sure lots of people in the chat tonight are familiar with you. You're on Adrian's stream just a week or so ago. I think the week before I was on, was it? Probably. Which was a really good stream. And you've got your own YouTube channel, which I think is rapidly approaching 1,000 subscribers. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got about 850 at the moment, so hoping that in the next month or so I'll hit that 1,000 mark. Although I'm not even close to the 4,000 hours you need, so I'm not going to be able to monetize anyway. So
Oh, yeah. 4,000 hours of watch time is that, I think.
yeah, and I post like 5 minute videos, so it's not really it takes a lot to accumulate.
Yeah. Oh, it will come. It will
Yeah,
come.
yeah.
Monetization. That's something to look forward to. So, for those of you that don't know, or for those people that don't know who you are, do you just want to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about, how long you've been doing internet marketing, and yeah, just introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I got into this. So I quit my job in December 2018
Okay.
in as a university lecturer in the UK, and I moved to Canada. And I got a little bit of a part-time job here. But when I quit my job in the UK, the lady who I shared an office with said, "Oh, I actually considered creating an online course instead of becoming a university teacher." So I was looking at how to create an online course, and people were saying, "Oh, don't create one on Udemy, create one yourself so you can host it and make more money out of it." And then that got me down this rabbit hole of finding all these people how to make a blog and how to get an audience with the intention of, in the end, creating an online course. And the idea of creating an online course just fell to the wayside. And I was just interested in affiliate marketing and display ad revenue after that. And now the idea of an online course is like the furthest thing from my mind. So yeah, I started my first blog in January 2019. It was a complete failure after about 3 months. I
All right.
started
What was that on?
the I don't want to say what it was about, but it had a domain name that was spammy that I didn't realize it had like a double innuendo about it.
Okay,
And
that sounds intriguing. Yeah.
yeah, and I started trying to build links to it, and just through guest posts, and people were emailing me back saying, "I'm not going to link to a domain name like that." And so I turned around and went,
Mind
"I'm going to have to
boggles.
start again here."
So you scrapped that and started something fresh.
Yeah, and then that's when my first site started out in April 2019. So, and that's
Okay.
kind of the one that's still going.
That's the main one. So, but you've got a bit of a portfolio of sites now. How many sites do you have?
So I've got 4 sites. I've got two that are each independently making me a couple of $1,000s a month. And then I've got two new ones that are each 4 months old. And I've got that case study, Race to $1,000, where I've got a display ad one and an affiliate one. They're both 4 months old. And I'm seeing which one will hit $1,000 first. And that's what I'm talking about on my YouTube channel.
Wow. Yeah, because you used to do kind of earnings reports every month. Have you kind of stopped doing that, or is?
Yeah, I felt a little bit uncomfortable. I think the last one was about $3,500, and my revenue was going up really quickly, and I just kind of started feeling a bit uncomfortable about sharing that. So I kind of said only gonna report my income until my blogs hit $1,000 a month, and then I'm gonna stop. Yeah.
That's fair enough. What? Just because I don't know. I guess you don't always want to share that kind of information, especially when it's getting into serious money, as you say.
Yeah, when you're only making like $500 a month or something, it's fun to share, and you sort of talk about, you sort of a little bit self-depreciating, like, oh, I'm doing such a bad job or whatever. And then when you're doing well, it feels like you're almost boasting about it, and I just wasn't interested in that.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. But it's interesting what you say about affiliate and kind of display ads. I know that you're a big fan of display ad sites. You think that they're more passive than affiliate sites. Yeah, is that how you think, or are you just trying to kind of prove that with this latest project?
Well, that's just from my experience. So my affiliate site at the moment, the one that's already built out, it's over a year old, it's making pretty decent money. I feel as if I'm spending like 80% of my time constantly going back to that site and updating content. I'm at war with like the Spruce and Wirecutter for #1 position for a bunch of really good value keywords.
Wow.
And I'm just spending so much time trying to just hold my keyword positions. Whereas with my display ad sites, I just throw tons of content up and don't think about it again. And I can just keep progressing. Whereas with my affiliate sites, when I'm just maintaining them constantly, it feels like I'm bogged down. It feels like I'm almost got a job instead of developing passive income.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm really bullish on display ad sites at the moment.
But of course, they need a lot more traffic, I guess, in order to earn some good
Yeah.
money. But
Yeah, it's
yeah, once
pros
you get
and
that traffic,
cons.
it's a lot lower maintenance because then also you haven't got to worry about products going out of stock or changing and having to update all the content to reflect that. So in terms of display ads, who's your favourite display ad partner? Are you with AdSense or are you with Ezoic or?
I'm with the Zoic, and they've treated me well. There are pros and cons I feel of a Zoic, but I mean that I tried to hit, when I've hit 50,000 page views, or it was 25,000 at the time. I tried to monetize with Mediavine. Mediavine said we don't like the site, go away. And the problem was, I actually just looked at this today. For that site, even though it gets about 250,000 page views a month, only about 30% of that is from tier one countries, so UK, USA, Canada, Australia. And the rest of that's from, like, I get tons of views from the Philippines and India for some reason. And Mediavine just doesn't want to monetize unless you're getting mostly revenue
Really?
from the UK or USA. So they rejected me. So I didn't even try to go with AdThrive when I hit 100,000. I just went, look, I'm sticking with Ezoic. Now that Ezoic's got the premium program, you can kind of scale up, and they kind of help you get more money per thousand viewers through the premium program anyway. So I'm
Are
sticking
you a
with
member of
Ezoic
that?
now.
Are you? You a member of the premium
Uh,
program?
yeah, I yeah, I'm with I don't know which tier I am, but it tiers basically. If once you make like $600 a month, you can buy into the premium program, and then if you're making 1,000, you can buy into the next level. And each level, they help you make more money per
Yeah, I
thousand
mean, it
viewers.
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
There was a discussion in the WP Eagle Mastermind Facebook group just the other day, which, by the way, you should be able to find a link to that in the description if you're not already a member, viewers. It got quite heated. There was one person saying, "Why on earth would you pay to pay your ad company to kind of move up the levels?" But I guess it's a simple return on investment equation, surely, isn't it? That you pay to access these higher tiers of CPM, and in theory, you get a better return. So the cost of actually buying in is, I mean, I know the concept does sound weird that you have to buy into this ad network, but it's obviously working for you. You pay Ezoic to join it?
Yeah. So, I mean, I originally was a bit uncomfortable with it. I'd prefer just the regular revenue split where they just take their 40% or 60% or whatever, and you take your percent. But instead, they take a dollar amount, and then you get the rest. And I've always made money from it. So I might make $15. They'll take $10, and I'll take $5, or somewhere in that range. The only thing that you need to remember is every time that you pay per month for that premium program, make sure that you hang on to those receipts and give them to your accountant
Yeah,
at
of
the end of
course.
the
It's an
year. Or
expense you
else,
can offset against your tax.
yeah, but it all comes out in the wash, I think, and it'll be just as good as Mediavine if you're in one of the higher premium programs, I feel.
Yeah. A lot of people in the chat right now are saying 250,000 a month. Did you actually say, is that the kind of level of traffic you're hitting now? 250,000 a month?
Yeah, I'm really close to breaking 300,000 this month. I think I'm going to be about 10,000 off.
Wow,
Um,
that's a seriously busy site then.
yeah, it is, but do remember that a lot of that is from countries where I'm making like 20 cents per
From
thousand
India,
viewers. So it's not.
so you're very big in
I'm not
India.
like.
That's crazy. I've got to
Yeah,
say that on my
I had
YouTube,
no
I
idea
think
why.
probably the third or possibly the fourth biggest audience is India. And I'm always pleased when some Indian people join me on the stream because I know it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning there right now. No, you don't. Oh, you don't generally share your niches on these sites, do you? So we won't kind of dig in too much on that. But that's fair enough, obviously, because you don't want to don't want people to copy. Anyway, Adrian is on, and by the way, I'm happy to put questions to Chris from the chat. So do ask questions because I only got a handful that I'm going to ask. But yeah, Adrian asks, when you decide for a niche, how do you go about it? Do you start your research based on a product or based on an overall topic?
Oh man, jeez. So it's both. So there's a niche at the moment that I'm really excited about. I'm talking to a couple of people in AvantLink trying to get them to give me a 20% commission rate because they offer like 5 to 10%. And that's not really enough to get me excited because it doesn't have the whole cart commission that Amazon has. But if I can negotiate up to 20%, then it would be worthwhile going with them instead of with Amazon.
Yeah.
And that's for a specific product. And if I manage to get that agreement, I'll go ahead with a new niche site for that specific product. But besides that, often it just has to do with me looking at a niche and all of the products in the niche and saying how competitive is this niche by looking at things like the domain authority of the sites that I would end up being competing against.
Yeah. I've had trouble with AvantLink in terms of getting approval. Have you got any tips on that? Because I find often retailers that I want to partner with, and they'll be using AvantLink to manage their affiliate, and they'll just reject me, say like there's not enough traffic numbers or whatever, and then that seems to be it. There doesn't seem to be anywhere else to go. Do you have some secret content or contact or something that helps you get approved, or is it just you've got much bigger numbers and that's what it is?
No, I was rejected by AvantLink. The trick is to email the affiliate program, the affiliate network. So say you want to promote books by HarperCollins. You would contact the HarperCollins affiliate manager, find his email address, email him and say, can you invite me into AvantLink? And then get him to send you an invite and then forward the invite to AvantLink. And then AvantLink says, because you've gotten the invite. What I actually did was someone emailed me saying, hey, I'm with AvantLink and would you like to promote my product on your website? I didn't want to promote that product on my website, but there were products on AvantLink that I did want to promote. So I used that invite to get into AvantLink. And then once you're in, you can go with all the other affiliates.
Merchants. Okay. So you just need to get that account up and running on AvantLink, and then it's easier then to join other merchants that use AvantLink. Okay. I'll try that.
Yeah.
Again.
So
although to be fair, I did email people at it was REI, I think, that I wanted to promote in the States. They had a big roof box selection, and I did email them. I did share my numbers. I said I'm putting this amount of sales through Amazon with roof boxes. You interested? And yeah, I didn't hear anything. But maybe I was just having trouble with my email that day. I should probably follow that up. Because definitely want to sign up with a few different merchants. Just going back to Adrian's question just for a second. Now, obviously, thinking about products, you're thinking about affiliate sites. But if you were thinking just of a pure content site and monetizing with ads, would that be a different process in terms of coming up with a niche?
The process is very similar. So one thing that I really want to focus on with my display ad sites is that I know that there's going to be a really broad range of content that I can talk about. I want an endless amount of content, so I don't want to be too niche down for my display ad sites. So for example, if I wanted to, I mean, this is just off the top of my head, but if I wanted to write about kitchens, I wouldn't have a kitchens domain name. I'd have a home domain name, and then I'd fill up my kitchens sort of silo, and then I'd move on to another silo. So for display ads, it's all about just as much content as humanly possible, whereas I go the other end for my Amazon affiliate sites, where I try to niche down as much as possible to develop as much authority as I can.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, and that's similar to what Ron was saying actually the other week when he came on the channel. He's had a lot of success with content site. He's earning good 5 figures a month from his, and yeah, he does that technique as well. It just goes very broad, but focuses on a particular part of that broad niche. So he goes specific, creates his silos, creates a very interlinked part of the site. So maybe it was sports, he'd just do a whole load on soccer, link them all together, then he'd move on to rugby, whatever else, and go from there. Okay, that's interesting. So let's talk a little bit about sites and all that kind of stuff. You mentioned Amazon. Now, obviously, Amazon have changed things a little while back, and there was a few people, and there was one big channel in particular that said that they were going to just dump all their Amazon and take it off all their sites and all that kind of stuff. And we don't need Amazon anymore, and we need to show them a lesson. What's your feelings about Amazon affiliate? Is it still something that you'd recommend to someone if they were looking to make money online?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're starting out, I think Amazon affiliate's great. I think you can still make thousands of dollars a month. You can make a full-time income off Amazon affiliate still, even if you're only in the 3% commission range. And I think about those guys who started out in the early 2010s and how much money they would have been making when the commission rate was 10%, because you can still make that much money when it's at 3%. So they must have just been, hanging out on the beach. And
there was less competition and everything. It was happy days back then. It was,
yeah. But I am interested in moving off Amazon just for diversification's sake. And my strategy for that is whenever I'm enter a new affiliate program, I'll email the affiliate manager and say, this is how many of this product that I sold on Amazon last month. I would like to switch over to you. Can you please give me a better commission rate in order to make it worth my while?
Yeah.
And if they can make it worth my while, then I'll do it.
I mean, I think you need the better commission rate with other partners just because the conversion rate is a lot lower, isn't it, generally with other merchants compared to Amazon. And that's the great thing about Amazon, is even though the commission rate is low, the conversion rate is high. People have got a huge choice of products, and they frequently buy more things than they maybe were planning to. You send them over to look at one product and they end up buying a whole load of stuff, and you get the commission on everything. Right, we've got a question here from Mohammed, who asks, do you rely much on backlinks when chasing and competing with the giant sites like The Spruce and Wirecutter?
Yeah, so this is where I differ in my display ad versus my affiliate sites again. So for my display ad sites, I like to have a really nice layer of backlinks, just like a foundation layer, nothing too hard. I try to hit my domain authority up around 20, and that makes me feel like I can compete with most keywords. Whereas with my affiliate sites, I'm going hard with backlinks, especially when I'm competing against things like The Spruce and Wirecutter. I know that I have to get a lot of backlinks, and I'm aware that maybe that in the future I may be burnt by that, but hopefully I'll have sold my sites by then.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, yeah, you get full credit there for taking on the Wirecutter and sites like. I mean, a lot of people, I think, when they're doing their research, and if they saw a site like that come up, then they would probably just say, okay, that's a keyword that I'm not gonna go near. But that doesn't put you off if you see big sites coming up for certain keywords.
It does put me off a little bit, but sometimes it's worth it. I mean, if you're selling a $1,000 or $800 product on Amazon, it doesn't take many of those products to sell to start making decent money. So it's worth my while putting in that extra little bit of effort in order to get those really nice. And it's not winner takes all either. If you're ranked number 3 and Wirecutter and The Spruce are ahead of you, you can have creative headlines, and you can still get quite a few sales, even if you're ranked number 3.
Yeah, they don't always click on the very first listing they see on Google, of course. Okay, so let's talk about link building. It's a subject that a lot of people struggle to get their heads around. They don't want to do it. They're confused by the techniques. What's your approach when it comes to building links to your site?
So I have a outreach manager who I have a constant. He gets me a certain amount of links each month.
Simple, just pay someone else. What does he do then? Do you know what his process is?
Yeah, so he uses Ahrefs. He tries to find where my competitors are getting their links from, and he emails the people who my competitors are getting the links from, and he offers to pay them. And it might be $30 or $50 for a link, and then he takes whatever's left over.
Yeah. Okay.
So say if I give him $100 for a link, he might be able to land the link for $30, and he gets to keep the rest.
Perfect. And to get those links, does that require you, for example, to maybe write some content for your site or write some content for their site? Because obviously, if they're linking to big sites like the Wirecutter, they're probably linking to some quite high quality content. And I know obviously you're not making them an offer in terms of money, but they would want something of similar or if not better quality to link to, would they not? Or were they not bothered?
They don't seem to be bothered. They seem to want my money.
Yeah. Okay. Because I found that the other day I did a live stream where I did some outreach live, and I approached a number of sites, and I did manage to get a couple of links. But one of them, the first thing they came back was, "Yeah, you can have a link. It's just going to be $40, whatever." And I was like, "Oh, okay." They still wanted the article, they wanted the guest post, whatever. But yeah, they were happy to just take the money and just post the link. I guess a lot of sites are. It's a nice little income, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, that's my worst case scenario. If all else fails, I'll just turn my site into a link farm and make a couple of grand a month from that.
So I've got a question here from Usama. I hope that I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If I do mixed content, so display ads and affiliate on the same site, is 80 posts a good number? I'm guessing you've got 80 posts on your site, Usama. That's why you're asking.
Maybe it's because I actually recommend 80 posts for any new site within the first year.
Is that your number? 80. That's the.
Yeah. So I usually don't mix them. I will usually have affiliate for one play and then display ads for another play. One of the reasons for that is all of my supporting content on my affiliate sites, oftentimes it doesn't get very much traffic because it's really only there to create topical relevancy in the eyes of Google, not so much there to try to attract traffic. So there's not really much point in putting display ads on my affiliate sites.
No.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of the amount of content, you just need to put up as much content as you possibly can. I don't think there's any kind of rule of thumb in terms of how much content you need before you launch, or before you add ads, or before you add affiliate links. Just as much content as you possibly can afford or are able to write and produce. Now, there's a couple of questions regarding the amount of content. I think I may have missed Phil's question, but Femi has reminded me they want a bit more detail on that site that's getting 250,000. How many articles have you got on that site, and what's the average word count?
So I have 250 articles on the site, so it's averaging about 1,000 page views per article. So, for my current site that I'm trying to build out for display ads, it's what I'm targeting as well, about 1,000 page views per article. And I think actually Income School recommends that as kind of estimates that as well. So that's kind of my estimation of what I would like to see. And yeah, I would like to build that out to several thousand articles eventually. I just don't really have time at the moment because I'm focusing on other websites, and it doesn't come, I've only got 4 sites in my portfolio at the moment, and that's way too many. I really need to just have like 2 or 3 sites and really focus on them if I really want more content.
Is that because you have a good idea for a niche, it just pops into your head and you think, oh, I'm going to go and start that site up and go from there?
Yeah, and I if I have a good idea for a niche, even if I'm not going to build it out for another 6 to 12 months, I want to put it up and index it so that it gets through that sandbox as fast as possible. So when I can focus on it, it can build out really quickly.
That's interesting. I was having a chat today with Adam from a company called Niche Website Builders. It was recorded. I will be putting that up maybe this week if I get the edit done. And he builds all of his sites using expired domains for that reason, basically to avoid the sandbox. Have you had any experience with expired domains?
No, I haven't had experience with expired domains. One worry that I have with expired domains is you don't know what has happened in the past and what Google thinks of that domain. If in the past someone just completely, got themselves a manual penalty or something for that domain, it may still exist. Google may still frown upon it. So I'm cautious and wary.
Yeah, I think unless you know what you're doing, and Adam, who I was talking to, definitely does, because he's built a lot of sites on it, and he's got a very thorough due diligence process that he does when he's buying his expired domains, for that very reason, that if there's something murky in the past and you're going to pay a few thousand for a domain, it can be a complete waste of money, obviously, if it's got a Google penalty on it. But on the split side, if it's got a lot of healthy links to it, then it can give you that boost that you need. So I'm going to do some more stuff on expired domains soon. But anyway, let's carry on. I've got a question here from Amini. Any creative outreach pitches to land a backlink to your site? Is there any email, maybe your outreach manager has sent, that kind of gets attention and gets a link?
I'm not sure about that, but one thing that I would say is, if you ever get an email of a company or someone who is a link builder for a company, so you scroll down to the bottom and underneath their name it says outreach manager for this. One of them is Siege Media, for example, siegemedia.com. Their outreach managers email me all the time. And if you can see that it says outreach manager, email them back and say, I will put a link to this website that you're managing on my website if next time you do a guest post, you link to me in your guest post. So because they're running like 50 guest posts a month.
Yeah.
So it's not hard for them to, and
slip
I've got
a link
like,
in here or there, yeah.
Yeah, DA70, DA80 links that they've just slipped in for me.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Actually, I get emails all the time from people, and maybe I should start talking to them because they're probably pretty good. But occasionally I do get an email that just really catches my eye, and I just feel the need to reply to, and it's obviously the way that it's been written and all the subject or whatever just different to the standard stuff that you get in your inbox every day. Okay, so let's talk about writing a little bit. I guess back in the day when you first started, you were writing your own content, is that right?
Yeah, I my first year I tried to hit 365 articles in 12 months. I didn't quite hit it.
You were trying to do one a day?
Yeah, I would go to the cafe every morning and try to smash one out every day.
And so how many did you do in that year?
I think it was around about 260, 270 maybe.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So, and I know you've got a kind of teaching background or whatever. So I guess writing, does that come easy to you, or was it a bit of a challenge?
Yeah, it comes quite easy. I think, I've spent my whole life up until I turned 30 at universities, doing various degrees and then teaching at them. So I guess it did come quite easy. But it's the boredom that really probably gets to people, having to write 1,500 words every single day. And like when you think of when you were an undergrad at university, that was an essay that you would labor over for 6 weeks before submitting. And and we're smashing one essay out every single day.
Yeah. I guess if you look at it like that, it's quite a lot of work. Actually, that reminds me of the second part of that question just a moment ago, which is about word count. You said, smash one out 1,500 words. Do you think word count is important? Do you think you should just kind of have this figure in your head, I need to write 1,500 words for every single topic that you're writing about? Or do you think there's more to it than that?
I'm sure there's more to it than that. I mean, that's in SEO, there's more to everything. And all this sort of suggestions and advice you give to new people who are asking you questions on your channel, oftentimes it's just simplified to help them kind of get through it. So oftentimes I'll say, try to write 1,500 words. There's a lot more to it, but that's just a good rule of thumb to have just to get started and to get through that sort of writer's block. But obviously, I mean, my friend Phil, who's on Reddit, I'm sure a lot of people know him from Just Start on Reddit. He writes like 750, 800 words per article, and he gets tons of traffic. So, it depends on the niche. It depends on how competitive it is. All sorts of questions.
Depends on a lot, and the topic, and some articles going to need a lot more, some maybe a bit less. Hello, Kieran. Good to see you. I noticed you dropped into the chat, another WP Eagle member. By the way, if you'd like to join and become a WP Eagle member, there's a little link below this video, and you too can have your name in green and have a little eagle. Details of the members only live stream will be announced probably next week when the kids go back to school. So keep an eye out for that. Good. We'll keep the questions coming. It's really good questions for Chris. Let's talk about YouTube for a little while. So you've been doing YouTube. When did you start your channel?
Goodness, it must have been about maybe 6 months ago. I didn't start my channel to build out, become some make money online guy. I started my channel because I wanted to become friends with like Adrian and Fix and Amelia, and the way to become friends with them was to start my own YouTube channel and chat with them.
Yeah, okay, and that's cool.
Yeah, I achieved my goal for that. I chat with most of them, several times a week now. So
no, there does seem to be a nice little community that's kind of grown around the YouTube channels. As you mentioned, Fix, who was on my stream just the week or so, and obviously Adrian, we've done some stuff with, and Amelia, of course. They've all featured on my channel. I've been on their channels too, and it's a great little community. So you just do YouTube for a bit of fun, really, and to get involved in the community, and make friends and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it can be a bit lonely, really, just sitting at home typing on the computer all day. And really, you have to try to make friends with other people who are doing it as well in order to keep yourself motivated and have fun while you're doing it. So that was the original goal. And now, I'm trying to publish Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week, and help people out and do all of that sort of stuff. But it just started off as a way to get to know people better.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. Don't be too hard on yourself with that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That sounds ambitious, and I'm always in a dilemma with my publishing and uploading videos. When you do that kind of thing, where you say I'm going to upload like two or three times a week, I don't want to slip into the trap of kind of uploading content just for the sake of uploading content. Maybe a video needs a week or two to make it as good as it needs to be, but you feel like you need to rush it out. I don't know. I struggle with the regular content thing, but YouTube does love regular content, that's for sure. So you've not done any YouTube stuff for any of your sites? Have you ever, a lot of people say, you should create a YouTube channel around your affiliate site or around your content site and use that to create content and push traffic through. Have you ever tried any of that?
Yeah, so my first site, I made a little bit of a YouTube channel. I think I put about 15 articles up, and I went back and looked at it the other day, and videos. Yeah. One of those videos got like 13,000 page views, which I'm sure it's not very much to you, Alex, but it's a lot to me.
Yeah, that's a lot. And that can happen. It's weird. You kind of hit something with YouTube, and a video can just kind of fly for no apparent reason. It wasn't one that you particularly thought was going to be any good, but it appears in the search results or something, or in the recommended videos, and it gets a ton of views.
Yeah. One thing I would really like to try out is the Zoic's new video ads thing. I'm not sure whether you need to use your own YouTube videos for that or something, but I want to try that out, and maybe it might be able to get me a bit more revenue.
Okay. I've not really seen that. I mean, I'm just switching one of my sites to Ezoic. I've been resistant of Ezoic for quite some time because I heard lots of horror stories about it slowing down your sites, and you've got to give them DNS and it can break this and do that, and your site gets plastered with ads and all this kind of thing. But I have kind of slowly converted, and I'm going to bring them on. So I'm interested to learn a lot more about Ezoic. In terms of your ad placement, do you let the ad networks place ads on your sites wherever they want? You know, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to make some money. It doesn't matter if the site looks like a dog's dinner, or do you have a little bit more control and want to place the ads, where you want to place them?
So to be honest, I don't mind if my site looks like a dog's dinner. It is, as long as it puts food on the table for me, I'm happy.
Yeah, at least you're not eating dog food. It's fine, because okay.
Yeah. But I have talked a lot to my Ezoic gives you a manager person for everyone, and I always try to ask her to improve the ad placements. After Christmas this year, when ad revenue plummets again in January, I'm going to try Josh Coop's method. A Pro Blogger Income, I think his YouTube channel is, and he's come up with a really good way of trying to place your ads to get maximum income. So I'm going to try that out after Christmas to see if I can improve that EPMV a bit.
EPMV. It doesn't really matter about the site. I mean, I think, do you have ads on your homepage, for example? You're not worried about that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't have ads on my homepage. The reason I don't have ads on my homepage is when I do outreach for links, the first place they look is the homepage.
Yeah.
Or if I try to sign up for AvantLink, for example, the first place they're going to look is the homepage. So I want it to look nice. And I also don't put ads. I follow Sean Mars's rule for not putting ads on affiliate pages that promote products over $100 is his rule, and I think that's a pretty good rule to follow. But as I said, most of my two main affiliate sites don't have ads on them anyway, but my display ad site does have some affiliate content on it as well.
There was an interesting study. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He's quite big in SEO. His name will come to me in a minute. He did a study on this, and he found that actually ads on his affiliate site increased his affiliate earnings. Because
Strange.
When people hit a page from Google or wherever, and they hit a site and it doesn't have any ads, because we're so used to ads now, all the big credible sites have ads, don't they? They kind of feel a little bit uncomfortable. They're like, well, is this site legit? Is it real? There's no advertisers on it. I mean, there must be something wrong with it. And they tend not to engage with the content. It wasn't Matthew Woodward. It was the other guy who's quite big in SEO. He did a whole article on it. I will...
Not Matt Diggity.
It was Matt Diggity. I think it was Matt Diggity.
There you go. He's my guru of choice. I follow him a lot.
I'm going to see if I can find that article. But so that's interesting, I guess. It remains to be seen. I love Sean as well. We didn't mention Sean earlier. I've got a question actually regarding YouTubers. Is there any, who are your go-to YouTubers? Who do you enjoy watching that's in our space?
Well, I think I watch everyone, to be honest.
You've already mentioned a few of them,
Yeah, I mean, I always recommend Sean's channel because Sean he sort of pushed me to advance through sort of from beginner through intermediate level sort of strategies. So anyone who feels as if they're sort of upper beginner, lower intermediate at SEO, I'd really strongly recommend Sean Mars. I followed Matt Diggity, like whenever he releases any sort of, he does webinars once every month, I think. And I follow all of his webinars because it teaches you sort of all about link building and all that sort of stuff. So that would be two that I'd recommend to people who feel as if they're in the sort of intermediate level of SEO.
Yeah, I love Sean's very down to earth. I think he's quite infamous now, Sean. People have heard of him. He used to hang out a lot in the Black Hat forums and pick up a load of those tricks and tips and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And he was on the stream about a month or so back and shared some really good information with us. I put that link, by the way, in the chat right now. It was Matt Diggity. He has done a big long post on it, and he is under the impression that ads on your affiliate pages might increase your earnings. So that might be something you should try and come back and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a few people popped in. Let's do a few hellos. I haven't said hello to Johnny Nine. I haven't said hello to Dana. Good to see you. Josh, have I said hello to you? I'm sure I have. Josh has also got a very good YouTube channel. Not quite showing his face yet, but there's still time. But you don't have to show your face. That's the great thing about YouTube. You can create some fantastic videos without showing your face. Um, Dana says she's got no issue with Ezoic. Been on their servers for a week now and earned $12, and traffic is still growing. That's about the same amount I earn from AdSense in a month. So that's going well. Chef Show says, hi, and thanks for the great info. Keep your questions coming in. We're going to go for another 45 minutes, hopefully, if you've got a bit of time.
I've got all day.
I do have a call actually booked at 10 o'clock with Ezoic, so I should probably do that because they want to onboard my site and talk about ad placement. So we'll talk about that. I'll talk about that with them. Anyway, I have got some other questions. Just quickly, just want to test something. If I can. I think I might... there we go, it's working. We can all sleep soundly tonight that the transition is working. I think that's to do with my iCloud thing. Anyway. Is Chris from Aussie? Asks CX Nation.
I am. I grew up in Australia. I left when I think I was 23 when I left. 32 now, so it's been a while. Since then, I've been living in Canada, the UK. Now back in Canada.
Yeah, you've been around a bit. And where's your favourite place to live out of those places?
Goodness, I guess it would have to be Canada. I'm really into skiing and snowboarding, so can't get any better than British Columbia for that.
Wow, yeah, I bet it's fresh though at the moment. Good. Okay, I've got some other questions here. So, in terms of getting traffic, is all your traffic from search from Google, or is there any other places to get traffic from?
For me, it's almost all Google. I mean, I get like Bing and Pinterest sometimes. I don't know how. I don't really try to get traffic from them. I really should learn how to do Pinterest, but I just don't know how to break into it, to be honest.
No, it seems like something that everyone talks about, but I mean, I do the basics of creating little pin graphics in Canva, adding them to my content, pinning them to my own boards, and hoping that maybe other people do too. But yeah, I don't know what benefit I'm getting from that, apart from the graphics look nice, and actually quite often those graphics are picked up by Google and appear in the search results, which makes my site stand out a little bit. But yeah, so you're saying just search results. Google mainly is the place to go get your traffic, and you don't worry about Facebook or any of that kind of stuff, because I know some people, they like to for example create Facebook groups around their niches and kind of tap into that. But to me that does sound like a big kind of overhead in terms of time and whatever. But I guess if you can find a good moderator for yourself or whatever, then it's not too bad. But you don't do any of that stuff. Yeah,
it's my worry. I don't have the time to. I'm just so focused on maximizing my Google traffic that I haven't thought about it. I mean, that may be to my detriment, but I'm just all focused on Google.
Yeah, that's fine. Revenue and incomes is here. Simon, who's been on my on the videos before. Sorry to hear about your daughter. We have missed you last few weeks, though. Definitely a gap in the audience, and your comments have been missed. I do want to just follow on for the reason why I was asking you about articles and whether you write your own articles is I'm guessing you don't write your own content now, or do you still write it yourself?
I do. So not as much because I don't have as much time. I've got 3 writers and I just say to them, just write as much content as you possibly can. The more the better, because I'm just reinvesting as much of my profit as possible at the moment into growing as fast as I can. What I'm mostly focused on when I'm writing content is for my second affiliate site, the one that takes up 80% of my time. It'll often be, Ahrefs will say, you're losing rankings for this in this silo, and then I'll go and focus on creating supporting content for that silo, or helping sort of just prop up that website. And that takes a lot of my time writing new content. So I'm building out one of the silos at the moment. But I mean, for my display ad sites, it's basically just get my writers to write as much content as possible, as fast as possible.
Let's talk about writers then, just for a minute. So where did you find these writers?
Well, on nichesafari.com, my website, there is an I'm hiring button, and people send me emails saying, "Can I be a writer for you?" And I send out a trial, and they do it. It's That's
Yeah,
where
I
I
mean,
found all
that's
my writers.
to be fair, that is how I found my writers. They found me now. They see
Yeah.
what I'm doing and say, "Can I write for you?" So yeah, what do you? So when you get that initial email from someone, is there any questions that you ask them? What is the project that you give them as a little test?
Yeah, so I have a test article that I essentially, it's the same topic that I send to every single person who asks me. I tell them what rate I pay, and then I give them instructions. So things like where to put the keywords. I don't really focus too hard on SEO, but I'll say, try to put the keyword in the first H2 header, try to put the keyword in the introduction and conclusion. But apart from that, just write as naturally as you can. I tell them to do listicles. I'm all about my listicles. So my H3 headers will be, point one, this, point two, this, point three, that. And then underneath each of the H3 headers, I'll say try to write 2 paragraphs, 2 or 3 sentences per paragraph, and get back to me.
So
It's
you give
pretty
them a sort of a
straightforward.
framework to work to in terms of your headers and kind of how much you want here and there. And what
Yeah.
about products and stuff? So if you were doing a more affiliate sort of article, would you tell the writers which products you want them to include and what kind of information you want them to include about those products, or would you let them do the research on that?
I'll do the research for them. I'll do the initial. So I've got a template for them, which basically has exactly where to write everything, the pros and cons lists, and it's the exact same template all the time. And then all I do is I change the H3 headers to the Amazon products that I want them to review, and a little link to the product underneath. So they just have to click the link, read about the product, write a couple of paragraphs, write the pros and cons list, and move on to the next one. So they'll always have the list of products that they need. But they'll often get back to me, and I'm really happy when they do and say, I actually didn't like this product. I chose a different product. And, that's great. I love it when writers do that, because it knows that I can tell that they're thinking then,
That's good. You like a writer that thinks. I also like the way that you dictate the rate. I must start doing that. You say, this is what I pay. You don't let them come back and say, this is my rate or whatever. You actually say, this is the rate. And if you want to work to that rate, that's fine.
Yeah, I actually I pay the same rate to all of my writers. Doesn't matter where they're from, but I just have a quality benchmark. And if they don't hit the quality benchmark, I just don't proceed with them.
So in terms of your quality benchmark, is that just something that you, when you look at an article and you read an article, you can just tell if it's at the level you need it to be, or is there some kind of tick list that you go through?
No, it's just I can tell, I guess. I think I put on my whole university lecturer hat and act like
Get
I'm
your red pen
grading a
out and
paper.
just start going through it. Perfect. And in terms of locations, are you particularly fussy? I know that some people say, okay, I'm not having any writers that aren't in the UK or US. Are you, as long as they pass quality, are you happy? And even if English maybe isn't their first language.
Yeah, I'm happy, but I kind of feel it's like it's almost like discrimination. Sometimes I see on the discussion boards on Facebook and things, people say, I only want a US-based writer, no UK writers, as if people in the UK can't turn U into O in mum. It's like it's the same language.
Yeah. In fact, we had it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any need to do that because, if they're writing good quality articles, it really doesn't matter, does it?
Yeah.
Right, there's been a few. I think someone's just been banned, so I'm not going to ask that question. Though they asked a reasonable question, and then they started shouting about the US election, so we won't go with that. Nomad Overseas asks Chris, he says, Matt Diggerty recently launched a course about Harrow backlinking, which I also think Doug has a course on that recently. I've heard you mention Harrow before. Do you reckon it'd be worth picking up the course? And if you say yes, I imagine you want to get your affiliate link out, but...
Yeah. I honestly, I'm not necessarily... I don't necessarily think it's worth picking up a course on it. I think maybe I should just do some free videos on it over the next couple of weeks.
But surely it's just a case of signing up for the emails and then looking at the emails and seeing which ones are suitable and then replying. Is that not what you do?
Yeah, I'll give a couple of basic tips on Harrow. Once you sign up to Harrow, whenever a journalist asks a question, try to answer the question with a personal story. They love personal stories, and try to keep it to 4 sentences long. That's really effective. Another thing that you can do is if you get featured in a roundup. So if someone sends out a roundup saying, I want a whole bunch of people to give me their opinions on working from home during a pandemic, and you write your little story about working from home during a pandemic, and then it pops up on the website. Go over to the website, and they'll usually have a list of 30 different people who've given their little quote. All of those people are people in your niche actively looking to link build. So email each and every single one of them and say, let's trade links. Let's do a 3-way link exchange between all of us. So you can get tons of links out of one
that's a good
Haro.
tip. Yeah, look, not only look for the journalists, but also look at the people replying, because they're all in your niche. But in terms of link exchange, you think there's value in that? A lot of people maybe wouldn't go for that, saying, what's the point of doing a link for a link? Because really you want links to your site and maybe not to link out. But you see value in doing that kind of link exchange?
Yeah, I avoid direct link exchanges, but I'll do like a triangulated link exchange. So if there's 3 or 4 people and you just send a link each way.
So it kind of makes a square or a circle, and so you're not just going back and forth. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Perfect. The chat is moving quite quick. I do apologise if I miss you. Hello, Mike. Good to see you. Nice use of the emoji. Another WP Eagler. Yeah, so sorry if I missed your question or your shout out. Just say it again, and I'll hopefully catch it a second time round. John asked, do you pay per word or per 1,000 words? Quick question there.
Yeah, I pay, I guess, per word.
Yeah,
it's the same, right?
It's normally a word, right? Yeah. Femi asks, do you do anything with articles with low CTR as shown in your Google Analytics, so that they get high views but low clicks? Yeah, I guess you're talking about the CTR from Google, because you can get that information maybe not from Analytics, but you can from Google Search Console. Yeah,
and I'm not sure. No, I don't really look at that. I don't think I'd be able to give a valuable answer on that, because I don't check.
I guess, the only way you could work on that is you could change the title of the article, you could change the meta description. That might have an effect, but probably not. I wouldn't worry too much about that. Okay, let's have a look at what else. Nomad's just clarifying, it wasn't Matt, it was Doug's course. Yeah, Doug's got the Haro course. Talking of Doug, you did a video a little while back talking. You know I was going to bring this up, talking about your thoughts on KGR. Now KGR is talked about a lot, and I've given my thoughts on it. I was a big fan of it a year or two ago when I did that big playlist with Doug. We did 10 videos together, and Doug still is a big firm believer in it. I think Carl uses it quite a bit on his sites. What's your thoughts on KGR? For those of you who don't know what it is, it's keyword golden ratio. It's basically a little equation that you do. You take a number from a keyword tool like Keywords Everywhere, the volume number around a keyword, and then you do a calculation based on the all-in title, which basically is a command you can run through Google, which will tell you how many pages have that exact keyword in their page title. If the number returned by the formula is 0.25 or something like that, or less, then it's a good keyword to go for. And it's as simple as that, but it's not actually as simple as that, is it? I guess.
Yeah. So I think I should preface this with, I think Doug is a great guy, and I listen to his podcast a lot. I really like Doug, and I respect Doug a lot.
Yeah, he's a friend of the channel here too. Yeah.
Yeah. I personally don't use KGR because I feel as if it doesn't. When you do a KGR all-in title, you're stopping Google from doing its algorithm and thinking about it and trying to figure out what the search intent is or what synonyms are for that term. So if you do all-in title, the best barbecues for summer, and the only things that are going to pop up are things that have the best barbecues for summer in the title. But Google knows BBQ is the same as barbecue, and it might also have consider spring and summer to be the same terms. So when you actually let Google do the calculation, that BBQ and barbecue are all going to be your competitors, not just barbecue, the term.
Yeah. I think that's a good point.
You might be competing against spring as well as summer.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That Google is actually, I mean, Doug's been using it for quite some time now, and Google did used to be a lot more simplistic than what it is today. It used to just look at the page title, look at the header tags, and it would then rank the article based on what it found in those tags. That was pretty much it. It wasn't really able to read the content and know that summer and spring are very similar, that BBQ and barbecue are the same thing, and and kind of get this feel and kind of interpret articles like a human being does and get the actual meaning of what the article is about rather than just looking at keywords in isolation. My other problem with keyword golden ratio is that it relies on keyword tools which have these volume numbers which aren't really based on reality. They're not from Google. They're just based on generally a very small piece of data that they get from another search engine that's not Google, and then they kind of extrapolate it or whatever, you do some maths on it, but it's not particularly accurate. So you're doing a calculation without particularly accurate numbers. But I mean, as a way to get started, it could possibly be a way of picking your keywords. How do you go about picking which keywords you're going to write for? Maybe that's the better question, rather than using KGR.
So my main strategy was, up until I got Ahrefs, to check the DA. If you download Mozbar Chrome extension, the Mozbar Chrome extension has a calculation that the main thing in its calculation is how many links are pointing to a website, because we know that Google ranks websites with more links higher. So I'll try to find a website with very low domain authority that is also getting a lot of traffic. So for example, if I come across a website whose domain authority is 15, and then I clicked onto that website and I can see that it is running Mediavine, I know that it's got at least 25,000 traffic, even though it's got really few links pointing to it.
Yeah.
So then I'll do a site colon operand. So if the site is nichesafari.com, site, and then the colon, and then nichesafari.com, all of the pages that are indexed by by Google for that site will pop up with all of the keywords in the titles of those. And I'll just get all those keywords, and I'll try to target all those keywords that my competitor, who's got lots of traffic, even though they're a weak site, he's targeting.
And just try and create better content, or?
Yeah, create better content. Yeah. And get more links.
Get more links, and then you should be able to push them down, and you can move in ahead and scoop up some of that traffic. I like it. I mean, Adrian says that he likes the KGR idea, and he's ranked many keywords that way, and I know a number of you have. But I just think that there's other ways of doing it right now. John says Google is very smart, which exactly is the thing here. It's not as simple as just ranking stuff by the page title. Usama asks, can you make sites based on only answer questions? So basically just answering questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. A lot of the articles that people create for their sites are answering questions. That's kind of a great thing to do. Pete says, for a new site, what monthly search volume and how many articles would you publish before moving up to higher volumes? And how would you scale up in volume and number of articles over time? There's a lot of questions there.
Yeah.
What monthly search volumes and how many articles would you publish before moving up to higher volumes?
So if you're talking about search volume in terms of a tool tells you that a page is getting 100 searches per month, I would be skeptical of that. I do use those tools, but it's very broad and general. So if the tool says it's getting 1,000 searches a month, I go, well, it must be getting a few searches if the tool says that it's getting 1,000.
Yeah.
But it's not. It may not be 1,000. It may be 10,000. It may be 50. The tool's not very accurate. But having said that, I do use the tools just like everyone else uses the tools, because I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It's the best estimation that I can get.
Yeah. You say just take the numbers with a pinch of salt. If they're a bigger number, then in theory that's a more popular term.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may not be 1,000. And in fact, even when people used to use the Google AdWords keyword tool, which did give you numbers, those numbers were just rough anyway. They weren't real numbers, but generally the bigger number meant that it was more popular. Kind of leading on from that, Usama asked, do you target zero volume keywords?
I do if I just think that this term would get search traffic. So, I mean, I've got a keyword that's getting 12,000, 15,000 clicks a month, and it had zero search volume according to all of the tools. So sometimes you just got to use your head. Sometimes you just got to think, is someone searching? Is this a term that people are going to search? Simple as that sometimes.
In theory, if Google is suggesting it, then people probably are.
Yeah.
I mean, Google's only suggesting stuff that people have typed into Google in the past. You think... Pete says, again, Ezoic has not slowed my site. That's for people who don't speed optimize their site before adding ads and use slow shared hosting. Fair enough. I mean, I guess you use Ezoic's speed booster thing, do you?
Yeah, I use the Sightseed Accelerator. I tried WP Rocket. I was very reluctant to start using the Sightspeed Accelerator. In fact, I used it when they first came out, and it did all these weird things to my site. And then 8 months later, I finally came back and tried it again, and I think that they've done some iterations and some updates, so a lot of the problems aren't in it anymore. And it seemed to work the second time around. And even, I was reluctant at the start, but now it's like it's $20 a month, and it's getting me decent user experience.
Yeah, good. Yeah, because they don't let you use any other plugins or anything, do they? Oh, hang on. Someone's troll. Is someone set up a Doug account just to troll? They must have done. That's you know you know you've made it. Yeah, the moderators keep an eye on it. Well, yeah, Doug has definitely made it. If someone creates a bogus account and starts trolling as Doug, keep an eye out for that. That troll is going to be on your channel, Chris. You're going to need to watch that.
Yeah. I don't know. Everyone thinks that I'm having a feud with Doug. I actually think he's a really nice guy, and I think like 90% of what he teaches is really good stuff.
Yeah, I think Income School took down their video on their KGR, didn't they? I don't know.
No, maybe I should take mine down.
No, Doug. I've not known Doug go around people's houses with his baseball bat or anything. When you say zero volume, which tool are you using? Are you basing that number on? Yeah, which you haven't mentioned too many tools, have you? I mean, what's your go-to tool?
So the tool that I use for search volume, even like I own Ahrefs and I still use Keywords Everywhere. The reason I still use Keywords Everywhere is it's plugged into the Google API. So I think it's probably the more accurate of all of the inaccurate tools.
Yeah.
And also Ahrefs has gotten a lot worse now because the company that it used to buy its search volume from has shut down. So this year, the quality of their traffic and stuff has significantly decreased.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Majestic SEO, I always thought that was quite a good one. I mean, when I had my company in London, which was a long time ago, one of our clients was Word Tracker, who were like the original keyword tool back in the day. Like everyone was, if they did SEO, you'd have a Word Tracker account, and they're still going. I think I don't know how good their tool is now. Yeah, they would buy their data, and again, it would be just from some company that had a small sample of data that they collected from some random search engine or some random browser plugin, and that's how they'd collect the data. And yeah, it's interesting. There's a few little trolls and things in tonight. Good job we got the moderators. I will say that if anyone, if you, for example, think about going live, I think Adrian's also encountered it just the other week. You do need some of your best audience to help you with the moderation, because it can get a little bit overwhelming when you're trying to have a chat about something, and there's people just plastering stuff in the chat. What do you guys think of Morten from Income Geek? I've only just discovered Morten. Have you watched Morten?
Yeah, I follow Morten. I think he's seems pretty cool. He seems to be like a display ads version of Income School, and I think he comes from Income, like he learnt through Income School. So if you like Income School but you want to build display ad websites, I would really recommend following him.
Okay, good. Let's just diversify. We're going to go for another 10 minutes or so. Rather than talking all techie stuff, what do you do in terms of motivating yourself and getting work done? Because when you've got this newfound freedom, you've quit your job, you're now working for yourself, you're your own boss. It can be tempting to have a beer for breakfast, but obviously that's not productive. So how do you structure your day? Is there any tips or any kind of processes that you do to help you be productive?
Since quitting my job, I work a lot harder because I have a lot more fear of having to apply for a new job. So there's no problems there at the moment. But yeah, I try to. One thing I do is I try to get an hour and a half's work done before breakfast. So I'll wake up, do an hour and a half of work before I can eat, and then I have breakfast and usually watch a couple of YouTube channels and get back to it.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, you can do your best work in the morning if you. I say even before breakfast. I often find that actually I feel a bit sluggish after breakfast. So it's good to get some stuff, get that energy when you're at your best in the morning. Does that include having a coffee or something before? You're allowed to drink or just go straight to work?
I think I just go straight to work. It's because my girlfriend's asleep. I can get a lot of work done, and the house is nice and quiet.
Yeah.
And then when she wakes up, we can have breakfast together.
Literally, just fall out of bed, get the computer on, and just start working.
Yeah.
Michelle says, I have to stop myself from working. That is the problem. When you get onto a project, because it can excite you, it can fire you up, you can end up just working through the night, early hours of the morning. Way more work than you'd ever do for someone else when you're working for yourself.
Yeah.
J5 says, do you guys like Lazy Arse Stoner, which is a channel on YouTube? I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I guess I mean he's a bit old school, isn't he? Does he still do? I think he might still do one or two
publishes once a
things.
year or something. Yeah, he was like one of the original. That's why he's so popular, because I think he created videos when there were no other videos on this stuff, and it was when it was maybe a bit easier to rank on YouTube.
Yeah, I do like his niche selection. Some of his niches were really creative, I think. So that's one thing I got from him. Yeah,
and he's got a very unique brand.
Yeah.
I haven't checked his channel for a little while. A lot of people are giving him some love. Russell Crowe from Kazakhstan. Will DIY articles be good for tools and home improvement site? I'd imagine so.
I'd imagine so. I think that you might be competing with some people who have got passion for, if you're in woodworking, you're probably going to be competing against people who have got photos of all of their jobs and videos of them doing the jobs. So you can't. I don't think that you can fake your way through that one.
No, I think some niches it's very difficult to fake it, because the builders, the guys that can do jobs on a regular basis, they film it, they create content. You just aren't going to be able to compete with that unless you want to do a whole lot of DIY. Maybe you've got a project on at home, you've got an opportunity to record loads of stuff. Okay, well, I think I've done all my questions. I mean, maybe my last one would be, what would you say to someone that's thinking about doing something? They know that this make money online thing is not just all about Lamborghinis and yachts, and it's all a big scam, and that you can actually make a living off it. What would you say to someone that's working a 9 to 5 and thinking about it?
I think to succeed, there's a lot of iterating. So when you start, you think that your website is going to be about this one thing and it's going to be monetized through this one way, but it's just constant learning and determination, and you'll get there. Like, I mean, if I can get there, anyone can get there. You just have to be determined as hell, and you have to learn as much as you can and not give up. And they're the people who succeed, are the ones who just put their head down and they just refuse to be defeated. Just
give up. Just don't give up, and be flexible, because things are going to change you might have an idea in your house. I can't even talk now. It's time to go to bed. You might have an idea in your head in terms of how you think it's going to play out, but things are going to change, and you might create a site and that might not work. But just move on to the next one. Keep going, and you'll get there in the end. That's some great advice. Fake it till you make it, Dana says. Yeah, kind of a bit like that, I guess. Just keep doing it, and it will happen. Dana also asked, do you ever procrastinate? And if so,
absolutely.
How do you deal with it?
I wake up the next day and say, today's a new day.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all you can do. Some days you just are going to have a bad day and you're just not going to achieve what you maybe hope to achieve. But yeah, as Chris says, there's always tomorrow, and you can approach that a bit differently. Yeah, revenue and income's also agrees with you that consistency is key to success. Just keep doing it and keep going. And I think a lot of people maybe give up too soon, because it can take a little while, can't it, before you actually start to see the fruits of your labour.
Yeah, a long time. And I would say once the fruits of your labour appear, it all comes at once. This whole job is like you're stacking tons of hard work and you're getting no reward for it, and then suddenly you turn around and you're making a couple of grand, and you didn't do anything different. You just kept your head down and worked as hard as you could.
Patient and don't give up and keep the faith. It does work.
Yeah.
Good. Well, if there's any last questions, we can have that. We can do. I'm just quickly scrolling through the chat to see. Well, I can see. I think Fake Doug's been kicked out. That's fine. Yeah, Glenn from or NVS says that search intent or intend is more important than keywords. Google's just getting better and better. Kieran says, I think KGR is great for beginners. Once you get a hang of things, I think you can just tell from the SERP if it's worth going for. I think you can, yeah. You get a good feeling about certain keywords just by looking at the search results page. Leslie says, what a great stream, very inspiring. Thank you. Yeah, well, Chris is very inspiring, and you can get loads more. Chris, you can go and binge his stuff right now. I've put a link to his channel in the description, but I think you can be found just by searching for Chris Niche Safari. By the way, where did the brand Niche Safari come from?
Well, when I first started the channel, I was gonna do a different niche each week and talk about whether or not it's a good niche to go into. So it was like searching for a niche, I guess. And that kind of fell to the wayside after like 3 videos on different niches. And and I've just like websites, you start thinking you're going to do one thing and you go off in a different direction and you.
Yeah, well, that time it's too late, and you've already branded your channel, and the same as me. I thought this channel was all going to be about WordPress tutorials, but it's turned into something else. Michelle says she's just subscribed to your channel, so you've got at least one new subscriber from tonight. It's a good night's work, or good afternoon for you. It must be afternoon. Pete asks, and I guess this is an inside question for those that know, have you bought your giraffe onesie yet?
As soon as this live stream ends, I'm walking down the street and I'm buying my giraffe onesie. The reason I have these bats in the background is we're having a Halloween-themed party on Amelia Gardner's live stream tomorrow at 10 a.m. I don't know what time that will be in the UK. And we all have to wear onesies.
6 o'clock, in the evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't get the invite. It doesn't matter. I'm sure I'll drop in. And I can't believe that there's a giraffe onesie shop up the road from you. I mean, that's pretty niche.
I have a onesie shop. It's an entire dedicated onesie shop, and I really hope they have giraffe onesies there.
Well, I think on that note, we'll leave Chris, and do check out Amelia's stream tomorrow. I'm sure that a lot of you are already subscribed to her channel because she is another friend of the channel. She's been on the live streams before, and she does a great kind of relaxed YouTube stream on a Wednesday. I try and drop in, but it's generally, say, around 6 o'clock, which is bath time here for the kids, so I can't always jump on. I see that Margaret Thatcher has now jumped into the chat and is broadcasting some more politically based inspired comments, which is slightly strange. Dana's quickly put a stop to that. Interesting. Lots of trolls tonight, but I think, like all these things, if you get fake accounts, if you get trolls, it's just a sign that you're kind of getting somewhere. People are noticing. Yeah. And Femi thinks that the trolls are the same person. They probably are. But anyway, thanks, Chris. And everyone go check out Chris's channel. And I'm going to do a transition and we'll finish up the stream. Hopefully, if my transition works. Transition! Well, I think it worked. Chris is still in the background. He'll be there for a minute. Hope you all enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. I had a great chat there. And Chris shared some really useful bits of advice and tips. So do go check out his stuff. Johnny says, lol, you have 80 viewers, so 2 or 3 trolls is about right. Yeah, I guess so. I think it's like a 1-2% thing, isn't it? It just happens. AHM says, can you please guide how we can find good writers? Because in the beginning it's difficult to spend a lot of money. I'm afraid that's kind of it. I mean, Chris's suggestion earlier was quite good. If you have a website, you can have like a we're hiring page and people will approach you. But you are going to have to buy a little bit of content and just see if it's good before you kind of commit. And it will save you money in the long run, because I've bought lots of content and some of it I've had to just chuck it away because it's been of such poor quality. MMK, I did wonder where you were. We haven't had any horn tonight, but now we will. Thank you for that super chat, $24.99. Amazing. Really appreciate it. Femi says that there's 80 viewers and half the likes. Now's your chance if you haven't yet liked the stream. It just helps the stream get to more people, and more people can experience some of the good information that Chris has shared this evening. Mastermind says, awesome stream filled with extra motivation. Chris brings great positive energy. Thank you. Not a problem. Now, I don't think I'm going to have a Thursday stream this week, just because it's half term, but I might do. We'll see how it all pans out. If I do, of course, I'll let you know via the usual channels, via email, via Facebook and Twitter and all those other things. So make sure you're subscribed or liking or following one of those things. I do have my hosting kind of series of videos coming out. The first one is going to be the Tech Support Challenge one, where I use the tick box of doom to test some hosting company support. That one is nearly finished. I'm hoping that I'll get that out this week. And Nomad Overseas says, happy birthday, by the way. Sorry, I missed the start of the stream. I've got to say it earlier. It was my birthday yesterday, which may be the reason why I can't talk today, because it was quite a long day. I went out for lunch, which is interesting in these COVID times. But yeah, there was some beer involved, and yeah, you're not always your sharpest after a day on the sauce, are you? But anyway, I want to start the countdown. Thank you all for joining me. Next week it'll probably be just a normal stream. I don't think I've got any guests booked or anything, so we'll just be doing the usual chat, site reviews, questions, hanging out, having fun. So I hope you can make it. That'll be on Tuesday, the usual time. Thank you all for the birthday messages. Really appreciate it. I've still got plenty of chocolate cake to eat. In fact, I did have chocolate cake for breakfast yesterday, which is living the dream. Kieran says, I'm edging on 50k subs. Yeah, I think that might happen this week, so that'll be exciting, and I'm sure I'll think of something to celebrate that. We'll do a video or a stream or something, because it's a milestone. It's a big milestone. Of course, I wore my mask, Michelle, although it is quite hard to drink beer while wearing a mask. Thank you, Phil, for joining me and moderating and doing all the good stuff you do with the servers and hosting. Oh, Dana says I got some birthday wishes on Discord. I will jump into Discord after this stream. I've been neglecting it a little bit, but I will jump in. A year older, a year smarter. I'm not sure that is how it works when you get to my age, Johnny. But yeah, thank you for all your time. I've got to go because I've got a call with Ezoic now, which, by the way, I'm of course documenting and recording my entire Ezoic journey, so I'll be sharing that with you soon. But until next time, thank you all for joining me. How old are you, mate? You should never ask a lady their age. Isn't that what they say? I'm 41. I know. If you say it quickly, it doesn't sound so bad. What? MMK, you're blowing my mind. I've never seen a red super chat before. $49.99 super chat. That's incredible. I will order myself some beer, and you get extra horn for that. The Eagle approves. MMK, thank you. Really appreciate it. You knew I was going to say, what? Are you saying I look 41? Is that good or bad? I don't know. Thank you, MMK. I'll have to send you another t-shirt or maybe a mug. Let me know what you like and I'll sort that out. On that note, 5, 4. Thank you, Jules. That is fine. No homo, that's fine. 4, 3, 2. Thank you, Simon. I appreciate that. Bye-bye. I've got to go. If I can find the button. I'll see you later. Good night.